Hello, everybody. Welcome back to JuJu's Journey. If you're new here, I'm a 58-year-old widow learning how to start over to build a life that I love one day at a time. Today, I want to talk about what starting over at 58 has taught me about money. Some of these lessons have been very hard. Some have surprised me, and all of them have helped me become stronger and more intentional about my finances. So, I've made notes, so if you see me looking down, it's because I'm just kind of reflecting on my life and trying to become stronger, more independent, less stressed. It's very hot where I am right now, so therefore I've got on a summer dress and no makeup. I'm not planning on leaving my house today. Everything I need is right here, so that's a good thing. So just bear with my looks, bear with my hair, bear with my gaudy dress. These are the things that happen when you turn 58. I think it's kind of funny, actually. It is very comical if you think about it. I try not to think that I'm getting older, but when I do things like I'm doing today, it's very evident that I am getting older. I try not to live my life like that. And I'm still sick with all of the sinusy stuff. I'm not nearly as sick as I was last week, which is very good, but I'm still sinusy, very congested. And that's just the way I think it's going to be for a little while because it's kind of slowly getting better. My husband and I, we always lived on a tight budget just because we never had extra money. We had no choice. But we lived well, if that makes any sense. We did not go on vacations, but we lived very good at our own home. We didn't cut corners. We kept the house cold in the summertime. We kept the house warm in the wintertime. If there was something like a new grill, my husband would get it. We grilled out a lot. We ate good food. We didn't scrimp on shrimp and steak and all the things that I'm doing now as a single person. When we were younger, we would get a babysitter and go out once a month, on the week that he was on first shift. But we didn't spend money like other people did, I suppose. We didn't have... My husband bought one new truck. It was a 2004. It's still... My son has it now. And I bought one new car, and that was it. And the whole time we were married, we were together 36 years and married for 32 before he passed away. And so we weren't extravagant by any means. We lived in a very average house. Children went to private preschool, but then public school after that. We didn't really have to pay for college. So that was a good thing. All of our children were very smart. They had scholarships and, most of their college was paid for. So that was a good thing. Let me think. Retirement was pretty much paid. A good retirement, not the best retirement that we could have planned, but it's going to sustain me, which is a good thing. That's where my $3,000 a month comes from. And that's just off of like I'm not losing money. It's just my paycheck from my financial institution, my financial planner. And so my money's still growing, but it's not depleting. And I'm getting $3,000 a month. Is it a lot of money that's growing? It's a lot of money to me, but if I were to have to get that money and live on it for the rest of my life, there's no way I would make it. Not in today's economy. So I'm grateful that we have a good financial planner. And I suggest people to plan for that. Um, if you're younger, Dave Ramsey all the way. Start watching him. I think he suggests 15% after you get all of your bills taken care of. 15% that you should be investing each month out of your paycheck. Like each paycheck, 15% should go towards your future. And we did not do that, but we were able to invest a little bit of money for our future. So that's what I'm doing. I'm starting over. I'm kind of setting myself up, like in my head. I'm setting myself up. I have to trick my brain, in other words. So I trick my brain thinking that that little nest egg that my husband did leave me with, which I am so grateful, that it's not there. And I'm thinking that here I am, 58 years old. I'll have a $3,000 a month budget. And this is how I need to live my life to make me feel financially secure and financially able. Because I can't call my investment people and say, I really want to go on that vacation. And I spent too much money this month and everybody's leaving, so I need to get X amount of money. If I were to do that, then that money's just going to disappear and disappear and disappear. And not to mention, if I do get it, it's going to have to be taxed on top of it. So it's not something that I'm planning with my financial institution at this time. This year, when I go back in and sit down for my yearly discussion, and they ask you, like, what your future goals are, what would you like to do? Well, I want to compound. I want this land that my husband's going to inherit, and I want my children who are interested to each build a house. And we all live on like 74 acres of land. That's what my goal is. But in order for that to happen, you're going to have money. I don't have enough money for that, the infrastructure of all of that. Yes, I can, I'm fortunate enough that I paid off my house in December. So I do not have any debt. That was one good thing my husband and I did not believe in. We did not believe in credit cards. So everything that we bought, minus the cars, those 2 cars, we paid cash for. And the house. We didn't pay cash for the house. But we didn't borrow money. We just lived paycheck to paycheck, basically. So it's really weird. It's so weird to be in this position. You want so much for your future, you know? I do not ever want to be a burden on my children. But I also want to build a legacy for my children, if that makes sense. I want to be a good steward of the money that my husband worked so hard for. But I also want to make sure that when I pass away, if there's any money left, that whoever receives the money is going to be a good steward of his money. Does that make sense? So there's a lot of thought process when you've crossed this place in your life where you're not a young mother anymore, or you're not young and single, and then when you become a young mother with children, and you don't have a lot of extra money and things like that, you have to think about just living. Now I have lived, and I am going to be okay. I know I'm going to be okay. Is it hard? Yes. Is it hard financially? Yes. Do I still get a heavy feeling in my chest thinking, can I do this? Yes, I do. Every single day of my life. And it's not about, I'm trying to think how I can describe this. When my financial advisor says this is all the money that you need, that we need to give you each month, because any more than that will hurt you in the long run, he knows what he's talking about. So I'm going to listen to him. I'm not going to sit there and say, it's my money, I can do whatever I want with it, No, if we had lived like that and not invested, if you have that mentality, then you're not going to be able to retire. I'm just telling you, you're not going to be able to retire at all. I mean, hopefully my children said that I will never go into assisted living one day, but who knows? I may be too much for someone to handle. And hopefully when I'm 90 or above, if that decision happens, I'll have enough money to be able to financially put myself where I would need to be. You get what I'm saying? I do not ever want to be a burden on my children. So money is about peace, and it's not just about numbers, if you get where I'm going here, Like whenever I was younger, money kind of felt like just paying bills and buying things. Like I said earlier, a young mom, you pay your bills, you have to buy your children clothes when they outgrow their clothes, kiddie pools, toys, birthday parties. Maybe your husband wants a new grill. Maybe you want a new kitchen gadget. I don't know. I was never a materialistic person myself, but maybe a new couch, maybe some new curtains, things like that. You're building your life, you're decorating, you're making a home, you're finding balance between work and enjoying life. You have friends, so you want to entertain, you want to maybe go out and get away from the children, things like that. That's kind of what money felt like whenever I was younger. And then now I see money as security and a peace of mind. So that money that my husband worked, when I say my husband, I was a preschool teacher at a church. I did not contribute to any of the money that we saved. Yes, it was our money because we were married, but I didn't work my butt off to put it there like he did. Yes, I kept my home life stable enough that he could work his butt off and come home to a home, peaceful and everything like that. But he worked his butt off to give me peace of mind. But that peace of mind could be gone if I'm not smart. And I've got to be really smart about how I handle things. So, of course, my $3,000 a month income is all that my financial advisor says that I need. He assures me that one day, whenever I get to start drawing Social Security, he's got a goal. I only have to live like this for a certain amount of time, and then I can jump up into a different bracket of getting more money. But it's not really about getting more money each month, because I'm fine. $3,000 a month, I'm fine. I'm only 58 years old. I do need to get a job because it's time for me to get out of this moo-moo and no makeup on and hair up in a silly little poof bun. I can go make extra money. I don't need that. Yes, I still need the $3,000 a month, but I don't need extra, if you get what I'm saying. And I don't even need extra because I'm living fine now. But yes, I'm on a very tight, broke budget. It's hard to maneuver, but you know what? I think it's been really, really good for me. I really do. Because now I have to be, I feel like me being so scared has made me sit here and think a lot about my future and my life and how bad decisions could really mess you up financially. Like you can really mess up and struggle like way harder than I'm struggling right now. Like I could be so frivolous with things, and which I have been. I mean, I've done a big no-no, and I'll tell you about that in a little bit. But, I see money now as security and a peace of mind. So having $3,000 a month and living like penny to penny, and then having my future secure, taking care of me in the future, I'm fine with that. I'll take that any day. I've got somebody helping me, and he's very good. Every single day, he's helping me. He's been so good with our finances. I can't even imagine anybody else. He even gave me a stuffed plushie of himself. I told him I wanted to wear him in my pocket. But he's a really good financial advisor, so I've just got to say that. And he cares about his people, too. He's not just trying to make money for himself. He really is a good person. And I met him and his wife through teaching preschool. So you really get to know families really good. They had 2 children. Their children were with us for 2 years, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you got for about 7 full years at our preschool. And so you really get to know families because our preschool was very family oriented. Great family. So yeah, he's looking out for me and me basically. And actually he offered me a job, and it may be I might end up getting a job there. I mean, that's how much we like each other. So keep your fingers crossed. Maybe when I go in, I think one person may be retiring soon. So we'll see how that goes. So the thing that's given me the most security on my $3,000 a month budget has been using, I guess it's the Dave Ramsey plan. I don't know. I never did this whenever I was younger. But I started doing the zero-based budget. And zero-based budget is awesome. That means you take your $3,000 a month that you get, or you could get paid weekly or bi-weekly, but whatever you're going to get paid, you already have a detailed account of everything that you want to say that you won't need money for. first of all, you've got to have groceries, right? Well, let's put it this way. You've got to have all of your bills paid. You've got to have every bill that you have in the month that comes out first. And then you have to have your groceries. And I think that's basically it. As long as all of your bills and your groceries are paid, then you can determine how everything else is going to be spent. It's not going to sit there. That's not your extra money. That's not your extra money to say, oh my gosh. Okay, let's go for example, okay? So if I get paid $3,000 a month, right? Minus, and I've got my last month's budget in front of me. And I'm gonna take away my bills, right? Minus, my bills last month were $892. And then my groceries, let's say 200, let's jump that up to 36. Let's do that minus 300, okay? That would leave me with $1,808 a month. And I would say if I just paid my bills, didn't think about anything, and that $1,808 a month was sitting in my checking account. I might run to Walmart and say, oh, that's so cute. Oh, I'm going to get that. I like that. I really like that. And then all of a sudden, I spent $150. You know? Then I'm down to $1,658. And then all of a sudden, you know, my daughter says, let's go out and eat dinner. And I'm like, okay, let's do that. And so I go out to eat. And let's say we eat dinner and go to a movie, right? And I'm just going to say eating dinner, going to a movie is $50. I messed up. I don't know how I did that. Let's say it was $1,600, right? So now we're down to $1,550. And then, you went into Walgreens and you saw all this makeup that you really wanted, right? And the next thing you know, you're walking out of my Walgreens minus $75. So now you got $1,475. And then, oh my gosh, you just got invited to this birthday party. You know, so you went and bought a cute outfit. And let's say your cute outfit, what, cost, will be on the cheap side, we'll say $50. And then you went and bought her a cute little birthday gift, which ended up costing you $45. So now we're down to $1,380. And let's just say that's all the silly stuff. Oh, you went to Walmart with your grandchild and they had to have this cute little toy. So you go out again and you're minus $45. Okay, so now we're down to $1,335. Oh, and this month is your other grandchild's birthday. So you're going to minus $100 for that. So now we're down to $1,235. And let's just see. Oh, you got to go buy your pet's medicine too, right? So that's $75. I don't know how I keep messing up. And I wish I could go back. I wish it was one of these that I could figure out how to get me back to whatever I was. So you get the idea. I've got $1,200 left. Then all of a sudden, your mail comes in. And you're like, holy shit. You know what the mail said? You've got your house taxes are due. You've got to pay $1,200. Okay, damn. Well, I still have $1,200. I'm fine. See, write out that check. Then you start over again. But you only have $200 left, and then you got your $3,000. You do everything the same way. And then at the end of December, because that's in January. And first of all, you went crazy over Christmas, too. You didn't have a budget. You just went crazy and bought everybody Christmas gifts. So you probably don't have much money left. And then all of a sudden, you get the bill for your car insurance and your house insurance. And your house insurance is for the whole year, mind you, is $3,600. And then your car insurance for the whole year is $2,400. And you don't have any money. You don't have enough money because you didn't budget right. So now you're scrounging like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? I don't know what I did because I really didn't do anything. You're going to look back and you're going to say, all I did is go to the movies and out to eat with my daughter. I didn't do anything but buy a few Christmas presents for my family. And you're going to say, I just went to a cookout with my friend and bought myself a new outfit. But you did that over, you didn't do it all the time, but you did it enough that you didn't really pay attention. You were not paying attention to your money. And then one little thing comes in the mail that you weren't expecting, and you're messed up. I mean, it could be your hot water heater. It could be something, you just messed up. And so now what I do when I use the zero-based budget, every single penny of my $3,000 goes to a job. It has a job to do. All of my bills are paid. Then I stuff my weekly cash wallet that goes with me in my pocketbook. And I try to use cash. I budget everything from my car gas that I'm going to use, to the groceries I'm going to spend, to the dining out money that I'm going to use, to everything. And then I use the cash envelope budget, which is awesome. It doesn't matter if you only put $5 in a week. It adds up. But I have my house insurance, car insurance, house taxes, car taxes, pets and vets for their next year's visit. Not their monthly medicine, but for their yearly visit that costs, $200 a pet now. Emergency, $5 a week, that's all I put in. Savings, $5 a week, that's all I put in. Medical, $5 a week, that's all I put in. Car maintenance, same thing, $5 a week. Might need some tires. Even though I don't need tires right now, I'm just still putting $5 a week. House maintenance, same difference, only $5 a week. And then month ahead. You want to get a month ahead. So, yep, same difference. I'm only putting $5 a week. And, and then you're going to have to plan for fun things. You can't just live life and not have fun, right? So you're going to plan for vacation. So you're putting $20 a week. You may have to put more. Entertainment. I put $5 a week or $10 a week for entertainment. Adventure, same thing as entertainment, but I'd switch my brain up. That's for more extravagant stuff, Adventures for better things than entertainment. A special gift. I want to buy my daughter a special gift. after I save up for this, it may move on to my son, or it may move to my granddaughter. I don't know what that's going to entail. Personal care. You know, you've got to buy things like when I say go to Walgreens. Yeah, you can go buy makeup. I need it on right now. But yeah, I've got an envelope and it's got $105 in it. And guess what? I only put $5 a week in it. I've got wish list money. That's for something, I don't know what I'm wishing for right now. But guess what? I've got $200 in it. And all I do is put $5 a week. I did put my birthday money in it. Clothes, $5 a week. If I want to go buy an outfit to go to a birthday party, I've got $70 right now I can go spend. Lawn and garden, have not used it, wasn't planning on using it. Now I'm trying to put as much money in it as I can because I've got to have a tree cut down. And that's another story. Gifts, those are for friends, not for my family, but for friends. I only put $5 a week in it. I have an Easter fund, a Thanksgiving fund, a Christmas fund. Right now I'm not stuffing Easter. But I did at the beginning of the year, and I had, when Easter rolled around, I had $65 to help put towards the meal. Thanksgiving, I've got $100 already saved for our Thanksgiving meal. I'm not the only one who's going to be purchasing food. So my $100 is all I'm going to put. Christmas, same difference. I've already fully funded $100 for Christmas meal. And so now I can start focusing on adopting a Christmas child like we did last year. So I'm going to start funding that envelope. And I'd like to give money to the fire department. So I'm spending my money before I have anything, before it has any chance to go to something silly, like one wrong move that can really mess up my future and put me in stress. I have already given my money a job. This whole entire binder is filled up with cash for my children and my grandchildren's Christmas and birthday money. $5 a week per child, grandchild, and then $5 a week per married couple. And this month I have 2 birthdays. One is on Saturday. Well, one's birthday is actually tomorrow, but the birthday party's on Saturday. And then I turn around the next week and it's my daughter's birthday. That's $200 this month. $200. But guess what? Let's see. This child I've been saving for, his birthday's tomorrow. We've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, and 5, 110. He's got $110, but I'm only going to give him $100. That's how much I spend on grandchildren. $5 a week. Did I miss it? Not really. Would have I missed a whole 100? Definitely. It's already done. One and done. And then that daughter, I'm looking in her envelope. And same thing. Look at all these 5s. Just $5 a week. And $110. Her birthday's, by the time her birthday rolls around, it will have $115. But she's only going to get $100. Doesn't even faze me that much. Although I put $200 a month in this binder every month. I'm spending $200 a month for Christmas and birthdays. But in October, I have 3 birthdays. In November, I have 1. July, I have 1. But in December, I have Christmas with 5 grandchildren, 5 children, 5 in-laws or son-in-laws and daughter-in-laws. And then I have 2 children. 2 of my daughter's birthdays are, one's on December 22nd and one's on December 26th. So $200 a month to fully fund everything for the whole entire year for my children, I'll take it any day. So that's how I do it, and that's how the zero-based budget works. You take the things that are important to you after all of your bills are paid. You have to have high priority sinking funds, which is like your future bills, like your taxes, your car insurance, your house insurance, those things, big ticket items that are going to have to get paid no matter what. I am fortunate. Yes, you're going to say, why are you only putting $5 a week for savings, right? I do have a savings account. Like, I do have emergency money. My financial advisor makes sure that I have that. Do I ever want to ask him for money from that fund? No, absolutely no, I do not. I want to do this myself. So yes, I'm saving for my future. I'm pretending like I'm starting over, because I am. I want to be 3 to 6 months ahead. I'm already 1 month ahead. But I want to be 3 to 6 months ahead on all of my bills. I do have, from doing this now for 1.5 years, I do have over $1,000, well over $1,000 in savings for emergencies. But I really want $20,000 in my emergency fund. $20,000, and I also want to, I want this in my own personal account. I want 3 to 6 months and $20,000, and the rest of the money can be invested. But I'm still going to save for everything that I do. You know, if once I hit that threshold that I have that money in my bank, then I'll start giving any overage that I have to my financial advisor to invest. You know, I did do this, and I didn't even tell my financial advisor. I listened to people online. I am using Ally Bank, and that's real easy to use. I'm taking all of the money that I'm saving in these envelopes. When it hits a certain threshold, I'll take it and put it in my in my bank that I use. And I'm going to show you an example. I'm going to use my house insurance, okay? Of course, I'm not going to keep all this cash at my house at all this time. But I signed up for Ally savings account. I can transfer. I have it linked to my personal bank, and I can transfer from my bank account to there, and I'm getting over 3% interest with a little bit of money, and it's money that I've accumulated for all of these categories that I have there, and I've only been using them for 1 year. Last month I made almost I made $46 in interest for the little bit of money that I have there, because they pay a higher interest rate than my savings account at my personal bank. But I don't keep all my money in my binder, because that would be stupid. It's not going to earn interest sitting here. So I made placeholders. You see that? That's a $1,000 placeholder. I ordered this money off of Amazon and made a sticker off of my little machine so I wouldn't get confused because it looks so much like real money. And so I've got $1,100 sitting in my Ally account, but these are placeholders, so I know it's there whenever I count my envelope. And then this is real money. This is $110. So whenever I do my next cash condensing, I'll take like that $50 and turn it into a $100 placeholder. And that way, it'll be drawing interest and it's not sitting here in my envelope. Okay? So that's one way that's how I deal with it. And it works out perfect. I highly recommend doing this. Let's see what else I did. And so we give every dollar a purpose. That's why I do that, because I will never be overwhelmed. Birthday parties will come, I'm not going to be overwhelmed. I'm not going to be overwhelmed when my house insurance comes up. Last year I was nervous. The year before I was so nervous. This year I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm using the snowball effect. And I should have started that in January. I'll do that next January. My snowball effect that I'm using is perfect. Any extra money that I get, because when I make a budget, I do have like an overage. And then I play a game. Whatever I don't spend in my cash wallet, I'll take it and put it towards a savings challenge. And then I'll take that savings challenge money and put towards something fun. Like I had to use it for my daughter's wedding. See, she got married this year, and that was a big expense for me. Unexpected, you know? So you even play games with your money that you already gave a job to. So if I can save that money, that's even a bigger perk, right? So my car taxes, I put one of my savings challenges it had completed, and I took that money and applied it to my car taxes for next year. My car taxes are not due until next March. But it's one of the 4 big ones that make me go, when those bills come in: car taxes, house taxes, car insurance, and house insurance. Those are the 4. So I went ahead and I fully funded, because I have an estimate of what it's going to be. And so my estimate that I needed was $700. So I went ahead and fully funded. I've got $700 sitting in the savings account, earning over 3% interest for a bill that's not due until next March. And I was giving this, in my budget, I was giving this envelope $20 a week. Now it's fully funded, so guess what I'm doing with that $20? I'm putting it on my house taxes. And so my house taxes already got $25 a week, but now I'm giving it that $20, so now it's getting $45. And anytime I have leftover cash in my cash wallet, I'm putting it right here for house taxes, because I want it fully funded. And I'm almost there. We have $1,200 as my goal, and I've got $970 saved. So my house taxes are almost paid for. And when it's fully funded, I'll take that $45, because I've got 20, and then the 25 that I was budgeting for these, for house taxes and car taxes. I'm going to apply that $45 on the car insurance. And car insurance, I give $40 a week. So now car insurance is going to get $85 a week. And then any extra cash that I have that I don't spend in my cash wallet will go towards this. And I'm going to get it fully funded. you need to understand I'm still funding the ones that are not fully funded yet. And so once I get it fully funded, we're going to hit the house insurance and get it fully funded. But I've got $880 already in car insurance. But I'm still giving it $40 a week. $40 a week. So by the time my house taxes are paid off, fully funded, I'm probably going to have over $1,000, I would imagine, saved in car insurance. And so then I'll just take that money and snowball it and get it paid off. And then we'll keep working on house insurance. And hopefully by the time February rolls around, I will have $3,600 saved for house insurance. That scares me because right now I've only got $1,210, and we're already 6 months in. But I really have 8 months to get it fully funded because house insurance and car insurance is not due until next February. So that's how I'm giving myself peace of mind. I am still living life. I've got my vacation money. I've got my little adventure money. Nothing extravagant because I only have $3,000 a month. I cannot live outside of that budget or that $3,000, or either I'll have zero money with my financial advisor because every month I'd be short and I'd be calling him saying I need X, Y, and Z, and I can't let that happen. I can't let that happen. But anyway, doing this has definitely reduced my stress and my uncertainty. Because I can just look and see I'm almost there. This is not my first rodeo. I did it last year. My husband died in December, so right time he died, the month that he died, my house taxes were due. And then that February was my car insurance and my house insurance and then my car taxes. And at that time I had 3 cars, 2 convertibles. And it was, I was so scared because his funeral was over like $18,000, almost $20,000. No, I won't. I really want to save up for my own funeral too, if you want to know the truth, so my kids won't even have to stress about that. Hopefully I'll have enough cash to cover my funeral, but I would much rather just, here's my funeral money, so they don't even have to think like, oh, we got to go take that money out. And so it has reduced my stress and uncertainty for sure. And then emergencies will happen, just like that tree. I came to a conclusion. I go outside every day and I look at that tree. Part of the tree fell, yes. Big tree, 75-year-old tree. Grew up, like here's the stump, then grew up this way and this way. And it looked like 2 oak trees had merged together. So both of these different ways that it grew looked like one whole oak tree, But where it split, mind you, was still way up in the air. When that part fell, it fell 2 ways. One of it missed. Actually, the ends of the bushes did hit my house, but didn't do damage. But it also fell on the neighbor's side, the other part. But I'm telling you, when I tried to explain this to people, one branch on an oak tree, you can't even put your arms around a branch. Like 2 people would have to hold on to each other just for one of these branches. But the way it's fell, broke, the other part that still looks healthy, that part was not healthy. It looks good. So I don't think it's an emergency. All the limbs are cut. It can't do any more damage to my neighbor. If it were to split and fall right now, It's not going to hit anything major. Just something in my backyard. But no, it's not going to hit my home. You know, it might hit an azalea bush, but nothing, nobody's in danger. So I am not going to count that tree as an emergency anymore, because it is not an emergency. Nobody's in danger. Nobody's house is in danger anymore, not even mine. Now, if I thought my neighbor's house was in danger, heck yeah, I'd take it down and use emergency money, whatever I could do. But no, I'm just going to save and get the tree taken down. I'm not going to count that as an emergency. I'm going to put as much money like I did last week. I'm going to switch things up, put an extra $5, $10 in that lawn and garden, and save up for that tree to get removed. But I'm not going to count it as an emergency, because it's really not an emergency. Because what if I do that in my, and I keep talking about my hot water heater because I cannot remember the last time we got a new hot water heater. And I think, they last for like 7 years. I think that's probably going to be my next thing. And that's not my only thing I have around here. I've got other issues. When you've lived in a house for 26 years and the house was already, I don't even know how old the house was when we bought it. I know it was built in the 50s or the 60s. 60s at least. '60s at least. Yeah, you're going to have issues that you have to take care of. And I'm not going to ask Edward Jones for those issues. And whenever I go to sell this house, I want to have all those issues fixed, because I want top dollar for my house, you know. Of course, I won't spend money stupidly. But, yeah, you got to be really smart. And then setbacks do not mean failure, y'all. You know that? The thing I was supposed to talk about was emergency funds do matter. They really do. Make sure you're building a good emergency fund. But if something happens, you still have money. Like if you're using a zero-based budget and you don't have quite enough money in your emergency fund, I mean, yes, you can take your clothes money and add to it. You can take your, you go through and get the stuff that's not that important, and you add to it. It's all savings. Every bit of that money is savings. But you just want to make sure that the main things that you're saving for that are the most important, like your car insurance and your house insurance and all of that, are paid. Don't take from those. Leave those alone. I wouldn't take from my children's birthday and Christmas. That would be my last resort. Before those 4 major bills that I talk about. But the rest of it, I would go through, and the most personal needs, you can start over with that. If you have a major emergency, use that. It's all savings, you know? It's just that you're giving it, you're prioritizing it. You know, personal care, wish list money, give that away. Clothes, lawn and garden, you know, things that, if you have a true emergency, you use that money for that. That's what it's really there for. It's all emergency money, if you think about it. So, just don't pull from it. Don't say, I've got money, and just keep pulling from it. Don't do that, because then when you do have an emergency, if you treat it like that, then you're still not going to have money. Stay with your focus and go with it. And setbacks do not mean failure. Okay, let me tell you. For the last 2 months, since my birthday actually, when I gave myself the gift, What did I give oh, I gave myself the gift of, what's it called? DoorDash. That's what it's called. DoorDash is not my friend. I love DoorDash, but I have not budgeted for DoorDash. So the little bit of overage, I'm 1 month ahead in my checking account, but I have an overage, you know, a little bit of, I keep about $6,000 in that account at all times. Well, minus the DoorDash money. I've got to start budgeting for DoorDash. I did, like my groceries, I did have them delivered yesterday. And I tip the person who's buying my groceries more than what the recommended tip is. I usually tip a little bit more than a recommended tip anyway. But grocery shopping, I try to because, and I'm fine with that because by the time I get out and go to the grocery store, and yeah, it's worth it, I think. And I'm not paying a DoorDash, like I've signed up for that year DoorDash thing, which is worth it. Where DoorDash is not my friend is me the other day. I was going to go to the grocery store myself, but I was so hungry because I waited too long that I'm like, there's no way I can go. I'm either going to go through a drive-through, grab something to eat, and then go buy groceries. Or I decided to DoorDash lunch. I DoorDash lunch, and then I DoorDash my groceries. Now I don't have to DoorDash lunch this whole week because I have groceries. The main thing is my grocery money, I'm going to have to come up with, like I might not put $50 in my cash wallet every week. I think I'll put it in, I have to make a new envelope for DoorDash. And I'm going to have to start like DoorDash and paying. Maybe I just pay that, you know, like the receipt. Maybe I keep the grocery money in my cash wallet and then pay the difference. But I do need to go to the grocery store. I can't have them deliver my groceries every single week. But yesterday it was like 100 degrees outside. No, I was not. I am 58 years old, y'all. I can have that one perk in life, right? Right? Maybe that's what my wish list money should be for. I don't know. I'm making these rules up as I go because I'm new at all this. But basically, you know, that's what I said. I'm making the rules as I go because that's all new. And your rules will change too. Because you're going to have to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And that leads to my next thing that I was going to talk about. It's never too late to learn. Like learning YouTube, eBay, budgeting. All of these things are new to me. Not eBay. But I mean, I need to learn new skills. I really need to look at a computer class. See if I can find a computer class. And growth does not stop because we're getting older. Like if my YouTube, that's all I watch is YouTube. From the time I wake up in the morning until I decide to come and take a shower, make a video, budget, work on something, I'm listening to Dave Ramsey. And I have learned so many things about what type of investments to make. It's just like an educational program, you know, and then I can give advice to my children better without me saying, I don't know what that means, you know. Do not compare yourself to others. My husband and I never did this. We never kept up with the Joneses. We would tell our children, yeah, my children would get what they considered designer clothes. Not a lot of them. I mean, but they would have to get jobs too when they got to a certain age. But we didn't have new cars. We did not, I didn't have to have the newest house or the newest decor, the newest fashion. I never kept up with the Joneses. Don't do that. Don't look at somebody else and see what they have and compare it to what you have. Because I can promise you, the person who has the car that looks like, holy cow, that's the person with money. The person who's driving around in the brand new $80,000 car, that's the person who's broke. You heard it here. Unless you know that if they're basically the same as you, like the same type of job and things like that, and you always say, I don't understand how they can live like that. Because I know that we all make just about the same living. And I know there's no way we could afford all that. It's because they have credit card debt. They probably refinance their houses and get loans and just different things. They probably go on these vacations on their credit cards. I'm just telling you, do not compare yourself to people that you think have it all. Do not, because I promise you, you're probably better off than they are. Okay? And also, every single person's journey is different. Every person's journey is different. God did not want me to be a billionaire. God did not even want me to be able to afford to have a maid. Not even once a month. But I'm okay with that. Everybody's journey is different. And focus on your own progress. That's all you can do. Pat yourself on the back. And I'm telling you, if you're in your 20s and you just happen to roll across this old woman in this moo thing that I've got on today, with no makeup on and hair looking like a witch, I'm telling you, start young. Start young. Go listen to Dave Ramsey, and you can be a millionaire in your 30s. You will have financial freedom. You won't be slaved to anybody. And right now, I'm 58. I'm not a slave to anybody, but I just paid off my house. It took me 58 years. You can do it way before 58, and I recommend doing it. Don't let them trick you into thinking that you've got to have a house payment to keep your credit score up and all that kind of stuff. That's bull malarkey. But, like I said, focus on your own progress. You can do it. Baby steps. And baby steps add up, y'all. Dave Ramsey says, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So every little time you put a $5 bill or even $1. Last year I was putting $3 in different envelopes. And, by the time the end of the year rolls around, I might be putting $3 in envelopes too. But those $3 add up. If you don't spend them at the convenience store buying a bottle of water and all this kind of stuff, it adds up. And then I need to get back into eBay. One item on eBay, it adds up. One sale. Anyway, so it's basically one budget, my budget, 1 week. Focus on 1 week at a time. And then focus on that goal. Just focus on one goal at a time and you can do it. So basically, if there's one thing that I've learned, is that starting over does not mean starting from nothing. Okay? We bring our experiences, our wisdom, and our determination with us. At 58 years old, I am still learning and I'm still growing and I'm still working toward the life that I want to have. And I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. Let's just see where it ends up. Thank you so much for being a part of my journey. And if you would please subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you. Bye.